Hello and welcome to the first ever manga review presented by Bros Who Think. Yes, if you're familiar with the Bros Who Think network, we are a podcasting network, and now we're on YouTube, and we felt we needed to give some YouTube exclusive content, and this is the way we're doing it. If you know me, my name is Lynden Burton. I am the host of the Bros Who Think podcast, as well as hashtag Anime Talk, and me and Chris and myself, we felt we talk a lot about anime, but we never get into manga, and there's a big fan base out there who's up to date and stuff in the manga universe that anime fans aren't quite caught up with. So I read manga quite frequently, up to date on My Hero, up to date on Promised Neverland, Hell Warden, pretty close on Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, pretty close on Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm on Dressrosa and One Piece. So with that being said, I felt, why not, since I'm reading My Hero as it comes out every 10 days or so, why not review when it comes out? Why not review Hell Warden? Why not review Promised Neverland? So this is the first manga review that we're doing, and I'm going to be reviewing My Hero Academia. I'm going to be reviewing chapter 220. So with that being said, you guys know me from hashtag Anime Talk, but if you're a first-time viewer, my name is Lynden Burton. Like I said, I am a big fan of anime and manga. Some of my favorites include Naruto, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Hero Mask, Desert Punk, Black Lagoon, Banana Fish. I'm trying to think of some more. Of course, I love the shonen Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, One Piece, of course, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. Naruto was my first love, and then it grew to Akame ga Kill and Fate and Stay Night, although I just like the prequel, because I must say, I'm not a big fan of Unlimited Blade Works, but that's just a little bit into me. Of course, as we get more into this, as we start making more YouTube content, and as you guys get accustomed to me, if you're not familiar with me from hashtag Anime Talk, we'll get to know what each other likes, and I want to hear from you guys, the fans. So if you enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe and submit in questions and let us know what types of videos you want to see more, because I'll bring Chris in and we can do discussion videos on My Hero or Promised Neverland, whatever you guys want. But for now, we're going to do manga reviews, and we're reviewing chapter 220. So let's get into it. The way I start these reviews is I'm going to give an intro for people who want to know a little bit about, who maybe don't remember what happened in chapter 220, chapter 219. So I'm going to give a little bit of background on what happened in the last chapter and what kind of set up this arc, because this is a brand new arc in My Hero. The arc before was the transition arc between the Lemillion and the overhaul arc, and so it was the class 1B versus 1A, and we got to see Deku has all these other quirks he can use, but not at this moment, because he has to master the powers, he has to get strong enough to be able to tap into that. But that's what was the arc before this. So we're now into the new Dinnerak arc, and what that is Dinnerak is this, and if I'm saying this wrong, forgive me, but Dinnerak is this company that used to sell clothes that they made for the quirk community. And by that, it wasn't hero support clothes at first, but they made clothes, for example, like Ojiro, the dude with the tail, like how would he get pants? They made those types of clothes for people like that. But now in this new arc, they're trying to get into the hero support game. They're trying to make technology, battle armor, and just hero support gear for the heroes. And the chapter before 219, it was basically set up this, and it was showing us the president of the company, and he had a dastardly way behind him, because he showed a book of Destro. It was basically his manifesto on, because he led the, I believe it was the People's Rebellion Army, but basically he believed that people with quirks had the right to use them whenever they wanted, unlike what the government was trying to make a hero system. He believed that because we had these quirks, we should be able to use them when we wanted. And he wrote this manifesto, and he had followers, and basically the president of Dinnerak is a big follower of this, and he asked one of his assistants, yo, do you like this? And he was like, nah, man. He killed him on the spot, and it was like, whoa, this is how we know this dude is serious. And he was like, we are the followers of Destro, and it's set up right now that he's supposed to be the child of Destro. We'll see how accurate that is, but as of now, that's what we're supposed to believe. So in chapter 219, the Dinnerak company who made clothes for hero support, they were leaking some of this gear into the villain in the black market area to get tests on how their equipment works in battle situations without having to pay for it, and to get it done in a different fashion, because they want to sell to the heroes, but as well get the backdoor dealings to the villains, because they're trying to get in contact with the League of Villains. They feel that not only is the government a problem, but they feel that the League of Villains is a problem because they don't necessarily stand with Destro's ideas. So we have to eliminate them as well as the government. So they're trying to get data on how their equipment works, and those people who had that equipment is who Bakugo and Todoroki fought while the battle was going on. And those people, as Bakugo and Todoroki beat them, those people got data, and that's what the Dinner Company was getting from that battle. And then while that was going on, they stole, I have it here in my note, Jiren the broker, the merchant, who always made contact with the League of Villains, who recruited some of Tomura's guys. He helped him. He helped him get basically his team and equipment that they needed. And basically the president of Dinner was like, yo, give me the list of the League of Villains. Give me your supply list. I want to know who you're selling to, because we want to take that over. We're trying to get closer to the League of Villains. And Jiren's like, nah, bro, you guys can't get this. Straight up, you guys aren't for this, and I'm not giving up. And they beat him up. And that's pretty much how that last chapter ended. And this new chapter starts off with going back into the past, because the last page was showing a big hulking monstrous looking person facing off against the League of Villains, and this new chapter is a flashback. So before we get into this review, I just want to say about Dinner I think this new villain reminds me of a little bit of Magneto fused with the Joker. He looks like the Joker, but the ideology seems kind of like Magneto in terms of Destro believes that his people needs to be free. They need to have their people to be free to use their powers when they want. The government has no say. Magneto wanted mutants to be free to live amongst the people. And he actually believed they were the better race, and that they could do what they wanted when they wanted. So this was kind of what the mangaka was kind of, in my opinion, feels like he kind of pulled from. And it's dope because there's a whole genre in America of comic books, and there's a brilliant lore. As you can see, I'm a huge fan of that, and that's why I really connected to My Hero. So that was a little tidbit that I thought was dope, and we'll get more into that idea when we get into the discussion after we do the review. So without further ado, let's get into the review of chapter 220 of the My Hero Academia. And oh, by the way, I will give it plus ultra. Let's go. So this chapter begins with the League of Villains. It starts from where the last chapter left off. We see them with this monster, so it flashes forward about a couple of weeks just to show where they were, how they got to this moment of last week. So we see them at the headquarters of the Creature Rejection Clan, better known as the CRC, and these guys basically commit hate crimes against people with mutant quirks or heteromorphic quirks. What that is a quirk that transforms your entire body, or it can give you, for example, like Ida has it as well, and then Ojiro with his tail, or it could be like Lizard or Spinner, who's a full lizard man, and we see the story is told from his perspective. Now we're getting another look at how the My Hero Academia universe functions. With this CRC, we see that hate groups still exist. It might not be because of race. They might hate you because of your quirk making you look like an animal, or of other things. Now they're attacking the League of Villains. The League of Villains fighting back. They're trying to get more funds, like I said earlier, and we see that the CRC doesn't really have anything. The League of Villains makes quick work of the CRC because, quite frankly, who's gonna stop Twice? Who's gonna stop Tomura? And then we see I forget her name, the blood girl, as I like to call her, and then we see Spinner kicking butt. As well as they finish, they start to discuss, man, we're low on cash, our equipment is messed up, what's going on? So back at their lair, Spinner asks, how long are we gonna live like this? And they start discussing their plans and their operations as a League of Villains, and they're realizing, man, we don't know what we're doing. And then Tomura's thinking, what's going on? I need to worry about Kuroguri because he told me, look, I'm going to go find the doctor who made the Nomus, and also All For One left you a power. And he hasn't got back to Tomura, and Tomura can't tell these guys that. And one of them says, Kaguri was your babysitter, you must miss him a lot, huh, Tomura? And he's like, he didn't say that he wasn't gonna miss him. He really does. And you see that in this episode. So in this chapter, we see another side of the League of Villains. We're getting more in depth into their personalities, as well as how they think and operate. For example, with Spinner, as the chapter begins to close, we see Spinner say, look, man, I was here because Stain gave me the inspiration. Stain lit the fire that made me want to become a villain, because I felt my life was crappy. People hated me because I was a lizard, and life sucked, and Stain lit that fire that I need to take control of my life. And I thought you guys were going to maintain it and spark anew, but nothing's happening. And he's like, where are we going? Answer me, Shigaraki. Answer me. Told me, tell me what's up. And as soon as he's about to tell him, they hear this big thud outside, and we see, I've been looking for you, finally found you, you fool. And we see that it's the power, so to speak, that All For One left for Tomura, and it's this big monster. I'm not gonna say a Nomu creature, but if it is, it's the perfected Nomu, because this guy's a hulking brute, as you see in the images below, as the images on the screen right now. This dude's a hulking brute. He's insane. So he's like, are you the one who succeeded All For One? He wants to test him. He wants to see if he's the one. And then all of a sudden he throws the radio on the ground, and he's like, why are you so weak? And Tomura, he's like, prove that you're worthy. So he's about to fight, but he's crying right now because the last chapter ago, we saw they were fighting. And then the doctor's like, Tomura's like, is this the doctor? And he's like, Tomura Shigaraki, you seem to be at a loss. He doesn't know where he's going to go. So the next chapter will pick up with a lot of steam. But that's pretty much all that happened in this chapter. Now let's get into discussion. What a dope chapter. With this chapter, we get an interesting look at the League of Villains. Like in my review, we see them going to commit this heist because they need money. They're broke. They've committed all these atrocities, and yet they haven't they've gained the fame in the popularity, but with fame does not come fortune. And they realize to do these big missions, it costs money. And with All For One in jail, they're not getting all the things that they need right away. With Gear and the Broker not being abducted by Dinner Rat, they're not getting what they need right away. With Kaguri not being here, they're not getting what they need right away. So we see them hurting, and we also see that Dabi is off trying to recruit, but Dabi's more of a lone wolf, and we see that more confirmed. So in this chapter, which is interesting to me, is the fact that we have this CRC. They're a racist group who have quirks, but they're racist against people who have heteromorphic quirks or mutant quirks, because they feel like that's foul blood, and they don't like the fact that they look different. And we see that the mangaka, Hirokoshi, he pulled in such a good allegory. It was super dope, and I really appreciate it, because this is something that I wouldn't have expected in a superhero society to be going on, because you think in a superhero society, we're past this. There's people who look like animals, for Christ's sake. Skin color shouldn't matter, but now we see racism or hatred has moved to another form, and it's very interesting to see him play off of that in the League of Villains, is the people who are experience it, not so much the heroes. So it'll be interesting to see if the heroes ever come in contact with a group like this, or in contact with a villain like this. But it's also dope to have an episode. I think Hirokoshi does a good job at having to show the League of Villains. By having to give the League of Villains perspective, we're not only getting our main group, our main Class A story, but we're getting to know these guys as well. So we're getting both perspectives, and we see, I think, Tomura open up the most because he misses Kurogiri, and it's like, yo, bro, like, he's not this megalomaniac that we thought he was. He has a soft side to him, so I wonder if that will affect him going forward in completing All For One's mission. I wonder if he knows he's All Might's master's grandson. That's something that we have to look forward to in the future as well when it comes to Tomura Shigaraki. So my next thing is with this, the chapter really goes inside Spinner's head, so we see it from his perspective. I think it's interesting to see And Dobby called him basically a cosplayer, and he said, yeah, he basically only did this because of Stain. So I wonder how much longer he stays in. Do we see more eternal conflict with the League of Villains? But now that they have this power, and if this power, will this power find them worthy? And is that the Doctor on the other line? And if so, how does the Doctor feel about what Tomer has done so far, and what's the next plan? My question is going to be very interesting to see, because this is also tied into Dinnerat. How does Dinnerat connect with this? Because we also know they're trying to take out the League of Villains right now. They have Giran, the black market salesman, the guy who sells them their equipment. So we're going to see moving forward how Dinnerat comes in contact with the League of Villains, what's their approach to dealing with them, and how the heroes respond, because now we have Bakugo, we have Todoroki, we have the whole gang with licenses, gang, so we can now put them in the battlefield. They can do what they want. Like they told All Might, we got our licenses now, baby. We can help people. So now the show's finally about to pick up. We saw the chapter with Overhaul, the arc with Overhaul, which I truly love. One of my favorite covers is the Lemillion cover. I believe that's volume 17. Super dope cover. That was one of my favorite arcs of the entire series. So I'm ready to see how this Dinnerat triangle with the League of Villains moves forward, and it's very interesting to see. League of Villains had ties with Overhaul. League of Villains now has ties with Dinnerat. We're still growing this League of Villains for the final Midoriya Tomura battle, Shigaraki battle, to see the new All for One for All. And I want to see how Midoriya masters his new powers, and what does Tomura get from All for One? How much does he acquire his power? Does he start to be able to take people's quirks? Because he has his destroying quirk, where if he touches it, it just disintegrates. But being All for One's successor, do you take on his power, and is he slowly giving him his power? We're going to start to see that more and more. But this was a small chapter. It had to give backstory into how we get to where the League of Villains are today, and how that connects to Dinnerat. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit us up on www.BrosWhoThink.com. Scroll all the way down on the home page and submit questions. If you want videos for me and Krissa, my co-host on Anime Talk, to discuss, send it in there, and we will do more videos like this. But be sure to check out #Anime Talk, dropping on Tuesday. That is this network's main anime podcast. That's where we'll be talking about the latest news. We'll be answering your fan questions, as well as reviewing the latest episodes of Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. And The Promised Neverland Season 1, which I'm really enjoying. I'm thinking about doing manga reviews for that, but I'm not quite sure yet, because due to the fact that the anime is out right now, I want to focus on that. But for the manga reviews, we're going to stick to My Hero till it gets back, and we'll probably still do it while My Hero's airing, and then we're going to do Hell Warden. So be on the lookout for a Hell Warden manga review, starting with the most recent chapter. That should be out by the time you guys see this as well. But thank you for tuning in. Like I said, tune in to #Anime Talk. And if you are a fan of Twitch and video gameplay, be sure to check out. Me and Krissa also have Jump Force matches. We will be streaming Jump Force about the same time that Anime Talk comes out. There should be a new Jump Force Twitch video out on the network. But if you enjoyed what you saw today, please subscribe. Thank you. We appreciate it. Be sure to keep reading My Hero, keep watching Bros Who Think, and for the next time, I will be speaking to you on chapter 221. But until then, peace.